Hey, welcome to Chaz Speaks, where I speak on things related to politics, motivation, faith, and things regarding the culture. And tonight I have my girls with me, and I have Esmeralda and I have Jay. And we're going to talk about some things. We're going to wrap the week up about what's been going on last week. We're going to get into the debate. We're going to get into Chelsea Handler, and does she have the right to tell Black people how to be Black? And we're going to get into some other things. So let's get into this. Let's go ahead and let's lead it off with Chelsea Handler. What do y'all think about that, Jay?
So Chelsea Handler, she told 50 Cent she has to remind him that he's Black. Mind you, this is a white liberal now reminding Black people, that they're actually Black. I don't think she has the place first to say who is Black and who is not Black, because she's not even Black. Let's start there. And then secondly, the argument was more about the tax plan. You know, he's in that. They always assume that Black people have no money. That's the automatic assumption. So the fact that if you find a Black person who actually has money, well, Joe Biden doesn't cater to him, right? So Trump is going to cater to him. So I love the fact that he said, you know, he doesn't want to be 50 Cent, he don't want to be 20 Cent, he want to be 50 Cent. So I don't think that she has the right to tell Black people how to vote, especially as a white liberal. And that's what a lot of white liberals have been doing. And I think it's very disrespectful, to be honest. I don't know. What do you guys think?
One of my things that I have a problem with is just white liberals in general. You know, when Black folks move over, it's like they have no problem of saying anything about Black people. And the Black people that are on the left don't even say anything about it. And it's like, well, if Black Lives Matter, then why the heck are you letting this white liberal just go up and disrespect a Black man like that, and you just gonna stand by and say nothing? You know, like, that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. It's like, well, you're allowing this to happen. Like, this is okay because, you know, they're on your side of the fence. So it's okay for a white person to talk trash to a Black man because, you know, it's okay because they're liberals. They're like you. That's the part I find just mind-boggling out of all of it.
And going off of the Black Lives Matter, you know, these white liberals were helping burn down Black communities. So it's funny whenever like the KKK and white supremacists burn your communities down, you hate it. But when a white liberal does it, you'll help them light the matches to burn down your community. So they're helping aid Black people into ruining some of the things that make things so precious. So that's what I think it's very funny because they seem like more of the white supremacists to me.
Well, I think it's interesting too. I think it's just a lot of virtue signaling. So they could just sit there and go tell their white friends, like, look at me, I'm woke. I'm more woke than you. You're not doing anything. I'm included. I'm woke. You're not woke. So they want to sit there and degrade people. Well, you're not doing enough. Just because it's their selfish needs, not so much because they're virtuous, you know?
Yeah, I think that the white liberals, I honestly think that they're overt racist. I think that the fact that they think that they have to tell Black people that they're oppressed and that we need them speaks to their thoughts of being superior to us, and that they think that we have to look to them for guidance, for help, and everything. And I think that they just been waiting to call Black people coons and bootlickers and
right.
Because I think that this is their time to shine. Let's go. Before they notice that that's what we're doing. Because I know that you said that you were at a Walkingaway campaign, and you're not Hispanic. You're not Black. You're Hispanic. But the tolerant Black Lives Matter people told you to go back to Mexico to leave the country.
Yeah. Told me to go. First of all, they started off that I'm racist. They said I'm racist. I didn't say one word, but they said I'm racist. And then they said that I need to go back to my own country. You need to go back to Mexico. And I said, oh, but I'm the racist one? Come on, like, I'm racist, but look at what you just said. And then I get they're going to deport you. And I'm like, really? I'm an American. Oh, they're going to find a way to deport you. I'm like, Trump's been in office for how long? I've been here for how long? I'm not deported. I have a social security number. They could look where I work at. Last time I checked, I'm still here. So it's just, This is how they show love and their unity and their kindness and their respect.
But this is my thing. This is my thing about the left. They want to go out and do all of this, and like you were there at that Walkaway campaign, they didn't know if you were just going there to say, "Hey, I'm a I don't know who I'm voting for. I want to come see what this is about." Why would you, as an undecided voter, want to go on that side? Why would you, as a black person, you get someone like Chelsea Handler telling you that unless you vote for this team, for this side, that you're not black? If as an undecided voter, why would I want to vote for them? And they think that they can take away or give me my identity, my color, or they can tell me that I don't matter unless I vote, and that I have to vote for them. I mean, wasn't she even offering to do a little bit of some prostitution?
Yes, girl. She was like, I'll give him a little, you know what, if he has to denounce it though. She said he has to denounce his support for Trump. And she'll give it around.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, apparently he had it and he didn't want it, so it may not have. It may not be worth it.
May not be worth.
Don't take it. Don't do it.
Don't follow him. Don't take the bait.
Can you guys just imagine if Trump supporters were saying they would sleep with their exes for votes? Because that's essentially what you're saying.
All over the news. It would be all over. There would be people doxing us right now, saying that we're prostitutes, that we're this.
Yes.
Hypocrisy of the left that I can't stand. They're supposed to be so tolerant, but yet they think that they can take away our color, our ethnicity. Then when they take that, then they want to destroy you. Like I was telling someone, I have yet to hear of someone walking down the street wearing a Biden hat or a Biden shirt, which I barely see any of the signs.
I've never seen anyone.
Right, but I get to hear about someone doing that, getting shot in the face, getting shot in the chest, or being terrorized, spit in the face, dogs. I mean, someone put out a Trump. They have a neighborhood had Trump flags, and they got notices in the mail saying, "We're giving you notice. If you don't get these Trump flags out of your yard, we're going to burn down your house." And several houses have been burned down. To me, that doesn't speak of tolerance. To me, that speaks of terrorism. It's domestic terrorism, and
it's the new KKK. Really, if you think about it, it just is. It just is. It's just they're not in white capes. They're not in white capes anymore. Like this is the new. Everything that you sit there and say that you felt that you hated, you're doing the exact same thing. You're doing the exact same thing.
It exactly. Is. My friend Ian says that the Democratic Party is a terrorist, thuggish platform. They need to be destroyed. I mean, he goes like to that. But he said they're thugs, and he said they're using the same tactics that they did during slavery.
Yes.
Same tactics, just different people. It's about terrorism. It's about shutting people. I mean, all of us have stories about losing. Well, you know what? I'm starting to think that the people that have walked out of my life, that is no longer a loss, because
it isn't.
I was the friend, So, but my story is similar to so many other people.
Yeah.
And it's not even about. I mean, I like Trump. I think he's funny. I think that he beneath that that alpha man interior, that he is really soft and that he really does have a love for America. But I just like the fact that he told Iran that if they F with us, that they are going to, not like the response. And as a woman, I mean, as you're married, if someone's like, some guy is like, messing with you, terrorizing you, do you want your husband to be like, mess with her again and see what I say? Or
exactly.
Say, right. You want that alpha man. You want that man that's going to be like, look, you mess with her again, and it's going to be me and you. And that's the way Trump is. He's like, if you mess with America, it's going to be me and you. So, but not just about that. It's about his values, his morals, and some people say he's not Christian, but you know what? That's between him and God. But I like his platform. I like
Hey,
what.
you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up. I was at the poll location yesterday. I mean, look, this is what I do on the weekends. But I had one lady there. She was telling me, how much she loves Trump. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, great. She's like, I don't know your views on abortion. She goes, but she said Trump was the first president to speak at that at a pro rally. And she said no other president has ever done that except him. She goes, the Bushes didn't do it. He did. And she said that right there, I was sold when he did that because no other president has had the balls to do that. I
Well,
said,
this is why I hate people when they're like Chelsea Handler, who's like, I have to remind you that you're black. Because now you've just taken away you've made me just a person of color. That means I have no values. That means I have no beliefs. That means I can't think for myself. This idea of this white privilege, I'm sorry, you're not better than me simply because you're white. And I'm not going to admit that because that's making you the supremacist over me and you're not.
right.
Right? So just this idea that whenever it's so great meeting Trump supporters because you realize there's so many reasons why people love him other than race. For some people it's trade, it's abortion, it's
economy.
beliefs. It's everybody has a different reason. This vaccination. Personally, I don't want this vaccination to be forced on me. I don't. And I know there's a lot of people who say vaccine should be optional, and I met a lot of people who think that. So it's like, but the fact that they want to just put your identity and just say you're just a black person, or you're just a Hispanic person, or you're just an Asian person, you don't have any thoughts, you don't have anything, all you have is your skin color, and that's it. I think that speaks more volumes than somebody actually having reasons why they like someone.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing with the Democratic Party, that they don't get to understand their constituents. Like with the Hispanic community, they think, oh, okay, let me go see what's on Univision. Oh, Despacito. So they go and play Despacito. With the black community, okay, let me go see what's on BET. Oh, okay, Timberland boots and WAP. And
she's so fake, girl. She's so fake. You could see right through her. That's the problem. Like,
who, Cardi B?
No, Harris. She's just so fake. You can just.
She talks. Dude, they talk different. If you see what group they talk different. If you see AOC, hey y'all, like what? Why? My pet peeve, my absolute pet peeve, is when people get around a black person and they switch up, trying to think that let's play rap music while we're in the car. You don't know that's racist. Or playing Despacito. That's racist. First of all, everybody doesn't listen to Despacito. There's Hispanic people, but Hispanic is diverse. Yeah. There's so many types of Hispanic. So it's like, it's so weird. To me, I think that is so racist and nobody sees it.
No, they don't. They just laugh and it's like, they don't do interviews with real reporters, but they're going to go just grab Cardi B who don't got nothing to do with nothing. And she's just like, oh! And that's all she's saying.
Whatever that thing was she did. And then they get Billy Porter to represent the black man and Cardi B to represent the woman, and they don't take the time to go out there and actually talk to their voters because they know all they gotta do is say, hey, I'm Democrat, racism, vote for me. Get in their car and they leave. Like, what was she like? I don't feel no ways tired.
Yeah, that was AOC, I think. Yeah.
No, Hillary Clinton did it too. AOC.
Oh.
Yes, Hillary Clinton did it at a church. AOC.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I don't feel no ways.
And Kamala, she was at that church, and this girl said, or someone said, how is this gonna, what are y'all gonna do, blah blah. She's like, you know what, y'all gonna have to help us. Like, when have you ever talked like that? When have you ever talked like that? I'm gonna need y'all to be going down and helping us. What? Okay.
Hustle in my bag.
Right. This thing of Trump got up there and started talking like that. It, first of all, is like you were saying, we are more than just Hispanic. We are more than just black. Like, I I love calypso. I love soca. I love bachata, cumbia. I love reggae. I love
Mhm.
a neo. So I am so much more than just this skin. I'm a woman. I like to write. I like to sing, even though people don't like to listen to me sing. I mean, there's just so much more than me. Not that I love being in my. I love being in the skin I am, but don't put me down just as just a color because I'm so much more than that. And
Mhm.
the black community, the Hispanic community, the Asian community, they're not monolithic, and that's where the Democratic Party gets in trouble, and that's where black liberals get in trouble because they like to groupthink. And they think that everyone should think like them, and if they don't vote Democrat, then we gotta terrorize them. We got it. We got. Do you know what the coon dog was? It was like one of the, I think I was telling you, Jay, that it was the most expensive dog that the slave owners had, and they used
Oh
them
yeah. Mhm.
to hunt. They were hunting dogs. So when the slaves got free, the other slaves would be like, that's like a that it was like they referred to as a coon because they were fast enough to get free. And so
Mhm.
when people call black people who have left the Democratic Party, they call them coons. It's kind of like you're saying that we were fast enough to get away from this. And so
Mm.
black
Mm.
gatekeepers that want to keep people on that level and they don't even know why they vote for them.
They
And
don't. They don't.
I don't know how it is in the Hispanic community, how deep the Democratic Party is. I mean, do you?
I know it do. Like I refer to people like in Florida, like your Cubans. Your Cubans are completely different than the Hispanics. That
Mhm.
that not Cubans. They're not the same. They're like 90% Republican. They're not the same.
I,
But the Hispanics in California and in Texas, now that's different because we have the border. So
Mm.
the border towns are all pretty much corrupt, and they're overwhelmingly Democrat because a lot of them down there either are illegal themselves, acre
Mhm.
babies that are here, and I mean, yeah, they've come here, they've crossed over, and they're here. Our whole family is from there. My husband's born and raised there. My husband was in border patrol for 4 years. Like,
Yeah.
this is what it is down there, and all they know is being on welfare. I mean, when I go down there, when I visit my family at least twice a year, they always tell me, "Well, how come you're paying $900 a month on childcare? Aren't you? There's government programs for that." I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't qualify for nothing government. I
Mm.
have a job, and then I even have my own brother-in-law, and he'll tell me, "You should divorce your husband." I'm like, and just say he left you so you don't have to work and you can get WIC, you can get free healthcare and have. This is when I was pregnant with my second, and you can go and say that you don't have a job and you don't have to pay for the medical bills for your son. You'll be all taken care of. You get free formula and free food. He had it all planned out, girl. And they know how to use the system. I'm like, I'm not divorcing anybody. Like, I'm not. But this is. I call it the valley mentality. The vast majority of them think this way. They live on the system. All of them. Even I even have family that are teachers there, and their schools are all poor. They don't have money to do
Mhm.
anything. The parents at home, or it's the grandparents raising them, they don't know the language, and all of them are assisted on government assistance down there. And that's all they know is that Democrats are for the poor people. Even my mother-in-law, girl, she's the same way. Why, mijo? She tells my husband, like, I, mijo, the Democrats, they help the poor people, the Republicans, you're like,
Oh.
what?
So the welfare, the same exact welfare that we're talking about with black people, it seems like you
yes,
guys have the same exact thing. I didn't know that that was like an issue in the Hispanic population too. I know we got the welfare in the '60s for us. I didn't know that that was like a huge thing for you guys for voting, voting Democrat like they did for us.
It was just more like Democrats, and that's why I was just automatically one, just because you're minorities, you're just told like, oh, Democrats are for the poor people. And then the Republican Party is just the rich white people, and they're just white. You look over, and you're like, they're all white. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm not down with that. And when you look over to the left, well, there's black people, Hispanic people. So you're like, oh yeah, we are, we really do help. Until you start actually working and not living on the system. But then you see everybody else living on the system, making it, girl. They get their income tax checks. They don't got no job, but yet they get like $10,000 with all these kids. And I'm like, I gotta pay back. Like, how is it that you don't got no job, but yet I have to pay?
And you know, go is like, so I didn't even know about the stimulus check. And when me and my son went to the store, I needed to get my daughter a charger, so we had to go back into electronics. And apparently, the stimulus check hit. Girl, all the PlayStations were gone, all the TV stations were gone, all the Xboxes, and this lady was like, and they were buying 60-inch TVs. They were doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, wow. It's just like income taxes. See, I know in the Black community, a lot of times when you get the income tax,
it's gone, girl.
Thing is they're gonna go buy something like a TV or something like that. See, with me, with my income tax, I make that sucker last the whole year because you just never know.
You never know.
I like birthday party, Christmas. If something happens with the car, I just don't go out and buy frivolous things. I don't think that I had my first child when I was 20, and he just turned 24 yesterday.
Oh
wow!
And I had to always just make sure that. When I was in college, I just couldn't be the one that went out and spent frivolously. Frugal. Yeah. So speaking of Texas and growing up in Texas and oil and all that kind of stuff, what did y'all think of the debate? S, what did you think about it?
I cracked up. I really cracked up. The part that I loved and adored was that I was watching this all, and then I'm watching it, but then afterwards, the main thing, because the Democrats don't got nothing, right? Trump went in, at the ballpark, he was whooping that butt. I mean, he was all in there. So they didn't have nothing, girl. So when you look, all they talking about is this coyote. And then there was she's a state rep. There's a state, Kendrick, and she's in Georgia, state rep. She really thought Trump meant an actual coyote. And kids just coming over the border, just being transported over. She really thought that. And she's an attorney, girl. I'm like, are they giving out JDs over there? Because I need to go over there, just get one, and I can just come out an attorney. Because you can't even, a simple Google would tell you, like, if you don't know what it means, because there's some things I may not know what it means, but I'm not going to go sit here and post something and look ridiculous and look ignorant. And you're a threat for that matter. And you don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, thank God he didn't say mules, because there's coyote, there's mules, there's all kinds of stuff. And so I have a lot of friends that are Hispanic that are, from all over. So I knew what he was talking about because, and also living in Texas, we used to live in El Paso. We used to be right over there by the border.
Oh, yeah.
So you just kind of know what happens in Texas. And that people come over here. But when I got older, well, maybe within the last 2 years, I really just started looking at illegal immigration, how at the nuts and bolts of it, it really does affect
everyone. And then minorities.
And Black and brown minorities, also
American minorities.
Children, that it is like, I believe 2 weeks ago, they just found a mother and a daughter, a little girl, face down in the ground because they tried to. It's like 400 or 500 miles in huge. It's like dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Subject to be robbed, killed, human trafficking. A lot of the kids that come over here, the parents, someone will say, "Hey, I'll take your kid over there for $500," and the parents think that, okay, my kid will have a better life, and they give them the $500, and that kid may not make it over here, or they may make it over here. And they may be one of these 545 kids that are over here without an adult, because not all parents send their kids over here with them. They come with them, and a lot of them, there's a lot of stuff that illegal stuff that's happening at the border. There's a lot of human
Oh
trafficking.
yeah.
There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of sex trafficking. There's a lot of. I mean, no one wants to talk about, but a lot of some of these people, elitists over here, are buying these children for means of doing bad things. So illegal
Mm-hmm.
immigration really it not only hurts the country because I've known some people that were here legally and they had to make like 90% less than what the other people made because they didn't have papers. So they were getting taken advantage of. And then it also hurts the people coming over here because you may end up dying before you even get over here. But that just speaks to the greatness of America that people will risk life, limb, and all that to come over here.
But
Um,
hold on, we're a racist country now.
exactly.
Well, I just thought it was very interesting with about immigration. If you hear people talk about immigration, they want more for illegal immigrants than they want for Americans.
Thank you.
Because they're talking about this separation, which could have been by coyotes, it could have been by whatever means. But you tell me what person commits a felony and they have access to their kids full time. I
Exactly.
can't. We treat illegal immigrants better than we treat Americans. There are Americans who are in prison right now who do not have their kids, right?
Right.
If you get a DUI and your kids are in the car, guess what? The state's taking your kids. That's how it works.
Thank you.
If you commit a crime and you're in prison, somebody takes your kids. That's why we have so many kids in the system right now. So it's funny that it's like, okay, we hear about these 545 people whose parents may or may not be here, but let's just be real, they're
Yep.
not Americans. How about we worry about the thousands of Americans where their parents are already behind bars and they can't even see their kids? I don't understand how we want more humanity for people who don't even belong to this country than we want for our own people.
Yeah.
You know,
So
before,
that's just me.
you know, when I was a Democrat, this is a subject that me and my husband. I used to tell him, "You have no soul." I literally would tell him that because when it came to immigration, I was very like emotional. He's like, "You are too emotional." He goes, "You need to get your feelings out of this and look at what it is and look at what's actually happening." Because for me, I was always like, these kids and these mothers, and they just want to be here, and like that's all I thought about. Like, just let them come in, and like, oh, my heart breaks, and I was always just set on that. I never looked at the big picture. I was just so emotional when it came to that. So he would always tell me, he's like, you just need to take your emotion out of it. And he goes into, when you do, you can have a better conversation about what's happening. And then, when I switched over, him and I spoke about, he told me about the border wall, then he was telling me about everything that would actually go on,
Mm-hmm.
at the border because he was in Border Patrol for 4 years, and everything that goes on. And then your eyes just, like, this is really happening. And I think with human trafficking, Chastity said it well, people don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
People just don't want to believe it. People are like, no,
Yep.
they're like, that can never happen, or that's not happening. They think it's not happening. When in Houston, in Dallas, are one of the main hubs for it.
Right, because we're in the South.
Yeah.
People who aren't in the South. Because listen, I wasn't in Texas my whole life. Okay, so when I was back up in Iowa and Kansas, and oh yeah, I didn't care about that. Or whenever I was in Minneapolis, okay, sure, we're on the Canadian border. That's way different than when you start going down south.
Right.
And yeah, and I've met these coyotes. So I mean, not actual coyotes, but the people. And then they said it's about 5,000 a trip, and you go across the border, you come back. They'll tell it's a whole business here.
It's a business.
It is. There's the regular legal business, and then there's an entire second business of illegal stuff that's going on. And I feel bad, especially for the women, the kids that get involved in this, because these women may be held against their will here. That's what some people don't even realize.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of times they pay, even if their families pay for them to come over here, the women, they still are compromised sexually
Yeah.
mm,
on the way here.
They become sex slaves. Like
Yep.
all these cantinas, like the cantinas, girl, you could just go. I'm sure it's probably in dollar, but in here in Houston, you can go on 45, on telephone, on airline. Like, girl, they out in the open with their stuff, girl. Like, just flaunting it, like ain't no one seeing it, and
Wow.
no one, no one does it. It's sad, and they don't see that, and they think it's a joke. And people who are not, it just showed for me after at the end of the debate. It just shows that people have no idea what immigration is. Like they have no idea what happens at the border, what the issues are. It's just sad because you have no idea, like no clue on what goes on down there.
And then also fracking. I don't know if you guys saw that Biden has been so back and forth on fracking. He's like, show the clips, and I'm like, I can't wait for this to come out, y'all. I can't wait. He goes to California. He says all these lies in California. He goes to other. He tells whatever state he needs to tell the lies to. He makes his lies.
He does.
I'm just like, there are so many videos of you saying you're going to end fracking, and he said we're going to be all on solar cars, plugging our cars up. We're going to be attached
on the highway. On the highway. I'm like, how are you going to be plugged in driving on 45?
I told someone that he's a pathological sociopath liar.
Girl, it's sad sometimes, but at the same time, I'm like, look, y'all let this man run. Y'all letting this man run for office. So if he gets talked about, that's on y'all. Like,
4 years to find a viable candidate, and they picked the worst ones. They should have. I think they should have went with Tulsi Gabbard and maybe Keisha Lance Bottom. I think that would have. I think Tulsi Gabbard would have given Trump a little bit run for his money, but I don't think they wanted her because she's not that politician like Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden is pretty much just a Manchurian candidate. So.
But so he look frail. He look old and frail. I'm like, he don't look right. He don't look like good.
His mental state. I'm worried about his mental state, y'all. Like
Jill, that's your boo. That's supposed to be your boo. You let him go out there with this foolishness.
But Jill, I'm thinking she's not as innocent as everyone thinks she is. I think that she wants to be first lady. I don't think that she's as innocent. At first I was like, oh my God, poor, but I heard her speak, and I don't think she's as innocent as like this little sweet lady that's just like, oh my God. No, I think that she is a handler.
No, but that whole family. But my thing is this.
Yeah.
You know, if Biden wins, Lord Jesus, please help me know. But if he does, he's going to be out and Kamala's going to be in. So I'm trying to figure out what deal Harris has with the Biden family, with the Biden boys, because they're going to need payment.
Oh, wait, she was brought up in. So last week they had some more documents, and her name came up in some of Biden's holding property. So she's somehow, I don't know if she's somehow involved in all this, but the politician is very incestuous relationship, like the NBC news broadcaster's cousin works at CNN, or the husband works here, or that it's very incestuous. It's very much that they have each other's back and they know each other's secrets. And I think that they do a whole bunch of blackmail so that if you do this, you don't do that. And I think that that's why a lot of the judges rule the way they do and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, look at Nancy Pelosi and Governor from California.
She's well, I would hope that even if Biden wins, I would hope that we would get the House and the Senate, and the Supreme Court. If we get all of those, it doesn't matter who's president. So I think we all need to look at more on a larger scale about sometimes the election. Because I don't know, because Democrats don't look at that. You guys have the House. And when Obama was elected, mind you had the House, the Senate, and you had the presidency. So
and he still didn't do nothing, girl. He still didn't do nothing.
Right. So my focus is, I would like to focus on the larger scale of it, but I would also like to make sure we get the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court. To me, that's more important than that. And even if Kamala Harris, guess what? You gonna pass something and they're gonna deny. So
I hope some of those rhino Republicans in there that are compromised But I want it all. I want it all. I want.
No, I do too. I do too. I ain't playing with these people.
But they're gonna cheat though, y'all. They're cheating with
we already know. Oh, we already know they cheating. They're cheating as we speak.
We're gonna speak life. They're gonna try to cheat, but I just believe that God is not done with America. And even if He has to step in and do some divine intervention, like I think He did last time, I think Trump is gonna win. Okay, so speaking of Trump, how did y'all think that he acted this time?
You know what? I liked it, but you know what I think really helped him was, and I'm going to give that moderator some props, because I was talking all kinds of noise about her, like from before it started. I was talking all kinds of trash because I thought she was going to be worse than Wallace. I thought she was going to be talking, I thought she was going to be horrible, but she wasn't actually. I hate the fact that they didn't talk about the economy or foreign policy, but I just move on. But I think once Trump noticed she wasn't debating him, I think he took a step back and was like, okay, I don't have to be in a full attack mode and defense mode because I'm not debating two people again. And
right, she saw him go, tell him, I appreciate you. And then one time she was like, okay, President is by term, and he goes, oh, I apologize. He was very...
Yeah. I think he respected her because she respected him. That's the difference. Because Wallace and those other idiots, they don't respect him. They talk to him like he's trash. So then he has a different attitude, right? And she respected him. She spoke with respect. And so he, therefore, I think became different and was like, okay, I'm going to respect her because she's not doing me wrong. She's not doing me dirty. So I think that's the difference, was her attitude was different towards him.
So what did y'all think about him saying the oil and the moderator's response?
He lies about fracking. He lies about, like I said, he lies about fracking when he goes to California, because California is very much against fracking. And just so we know, California, they have so much regulation, they do have to bring energy sources from other states into California. So, yeah. There are a few states that are self-sufficient as far as electricity goes. And Texas is one of them, because that is and so that's why we have a benefit, but they want us to be dependent upon other countries and other people. But yeah, he lies about fracking every single time. So I knew people were going to post him saying he was going to get rid of fracking, and they did. And
post a video, and then his old senile self was like, post a video. It's been everywhere. Like,
do you know that after he said that about oil, that I posted this on my, and I'll link it below in the description section, that Tennessee, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and there was another state started Googling, how can I change my vote? And that's why I'm like, don't vote early unless you're like 100% sure, because October surprise, you never know what's going to come out. Like, for me, 100%, I'm voting for Trump. But if I was like undecided or something like that, and I had heard, but you know what? That's the media. The media is complicit in hiding all of this information. I always say the media is like the fifth wing of the Democratic Party. The churches are starting to become the sixth wing, but we'll talk about that on another show.
Lord,
but the media is complicit. They lie. Like, so all this stuff dropped on Gateway Pundit last night. Mm-hmm. All of it. I sent both of y'all the articles. But so Twitter immediately after an hour started banning it. Hunter. And then I tried to type gatewaypundit.com on Facebook. They said this violates our community standards. That website has been around for years. It's never violated anything. They just run interference for the Biden, and that's why people have to get other sources than mainstream media. There are other people out there, Larry Elder, Tim Cass, Tim Pool. There's just a lot of other people. I found another one. I sent it to you, Alistair. What was his name? Alistair Stewart. Alistair Stewart. He has some good information, but you can't just depend on ABC, NBC.
Oh, girls, I don't even watch any of that.
I don't either. I get all my news from somewhere else, and I that's why I say wait to vote. Don't vote early unless you're like 100% sure. Like I know most Trump fans are like I'm voting for Trump, but if you're undecided or like I don't know, wait till October or something because there's always going to be something that comes out. So with the moderator, I was listening to this. She interrupted Trump 30 times and she only interrupted Biden 2. The last
Yeah.
time they interrupted Trump 60 times, I believe, and they didn't interrupt Joe Biden at all, unless they were trying to tell him, "Hey, don't say that. No, no, don't answer that. Don't answer that. You know, don't." But I know this moderator. I think that she was trying to be on her best behavior because of what happened with Chris Wallace, or no, not Chris Wallace. Well, with him as well as the one that was supposed to do the second one on Twitter. So she actually went.
Savannah Guthrie with the town hall.
She
Yeah.
was a mess.
Right.
Oh,
She was
God,
interrogating him.
she needed like an exorcist. Like she was, she was so. I mean, like she was like literally like I don't know. It was the hate for Trump is so real. It was.
Girl, it is beyond real. Like today, like off subject really quick, but I was at the polling location. I had this white kid screaming top of his lungs, his veins coming out, face all red. F Trump! Like just psychotic. And then drove around 3 times to do that to me.
But
Like it's they had TDS so bad that it's like what is wrong with y'all? Like, what did he do to you? Did he kill your dog? I mean, what is going on?
well, tell that story about the feel good story about the people who came and you thought that they were going to, terrorize you or something, and then what happened?
Oh yeah, I'm always got to go after. I'm going back to my car. I'm like, who are y'all? No, they're just saying like, thank you for going out here and doing that. It's nice to see Hispanic because they were Hispanic, and I just started telling them, I'm like, yo, Hank, y'all need to come out. And then I told them, like, heck, I was a Republican this summer, so I mean, a Democrat this summer, so I go, I'm all on the Trump train, I'm all about it. And what was funny is that they voted for Trump, but they were very hesitant. They were Ted Cruz supporters. And they said they were very iffy about voting for Trump. They were like, they thought he was too liberal for them. But then they started to see his policies and what he was doing and people getting jobs. Because I asked him, I go, well, what made you now be like, now you're like gun ho, like you're for real supporting him? And they said because people got jobs, people started working with Trump and their 401ks. They started getting tons of money.
So a lot of people don't like the fact that he said the stock market is going up, but a lot of people, it's not like, and I did see a lot of criticisms where they're like, well, you can't judge the economy off of judging the stock market. And he said that in the debate, okay, well, stock market looks great. But what he's saying is, if you have any type of job, you're investing in things. So
yeah.
people to stop thinking that they don't have money somewhere that's starting to accumulate wealth, because it is.
Right.
But a lot of people don't realize that if you have your basic job, they're putting a 401k, 401, all that stuff.
Right.
That's still your money you should be worried about. So, but I hate that they always want to make it like stock market versus, and make us as if we don't have a part in the stock market some reason.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. They did that during the debate, and I did see criticisms after him saying something about the stock market.
Or you put the economy over American lives. People are dying,
people are dying because they don't have jobs and they're hopeless. So because their job was taken away or their business was taken away.
Well, and I said, me as a young person, I hate that the teachers are speaking for everybody. I said, what about all the people who have to go to work and have to risk their lives? What about the waitresses? What about the small business owners, the cashiers, the custodians? There are so many people where they're going to lose their health insurance. So even if they do get sick, they'll have nothing to actually help them. So people have to keep their jobs. Right. And I hate that we have people like the teachers and all that. I don't mind that you guys want to do what you want to do, but don't speak for the whole country. Because the whole country can't sit at home and be on our laptops and collect a check. But when you have little kids like 5, 6, 7, your parents have to stay home to make sure they're on their laptop doing their work. So now you're taking somebody out of their job to come sit at home and just watch their child.
Yeah.
So I think it's funny when people are like, I don't want to go back to work, and it's like, do you think I want to go back to work? Do you want
Thank
to go
you.
back? Do you
So,
think the doctors want to go back to work? The nurses want to go back to work? We don't, but we know we have to.
right. So let me ask y'all two follow-up questions. So y'all have recently just converted over to the Trump train, on board, and I was a conservative for years, and I just came out. Do y'all regret anything coming out? Do y'all regret switching? Do y'all regret
No.
the hate, the vitriol that you're getting, the loss of friends, anything like that? Do y'all regret it?
It just shows that for me, I feel like you made the right decision. All the crap you get, you're like, wow, this makes you not ever want to go back.
I
All the mess that goes on, you're just like, it makes you not, it doesn't make you want to go ever.
And I think especially with family members not supporting me. So one of my pages, some of my videos, they kind of went off on Facebook, especially. And then actually this weekend, right, my uncle was like, oh, well, are you sure those aren't Russian bots? And I wanted to, I wanted to say, well, yeah, Russian bots had us at the White House, right? But you know what I'm saying? But it's like we are actually. You think it's fake, but meanwhile, I'm the first person to ever go to the White House, get an invitation to the White House. I don't know about you guys. I'm the first one,
Me too.
and nobody's proud. And it's like that.
I know. It's kind of sad. It's kind of bittersweet because when I posted that picture on Facebook, that when we got off the airplane, it was there, and I posted it on Facebook. It was all of my friends who I'd never met on Facebook who were like, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you."
Yeah.
It wasn't any of my family.
Mm, that's sad.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes. Because even if Biden was president, in that we were invited to the White House, I would still go meet with Biden. I personally would, because I'd be like,
I,
"Dang,
I got questions. Questions?
right." I may not like your policies, but that is such an honor. And I think we're taken away from the honor of him as a president.
Yeah. And just
Yeah, so
going to Washington, D.C., seeing the Capitol, seeing the Lincoln Memorial, seeing just being there amongst people. I would have, even if like my sister or whatever would have gotten invited to the White House. I may not agree with who was in the White House, but I still would have been like, that's cool that you're going. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. So this morning I was laying in my bed and I was like, because I told y'all the story of what happened, but I was like, is this even worth it? And then I turn my Facebook on and I see people just like this. And I'm like, it is, because the more they fight me, the more they. Sometimes I know y'all see my Facebook posts. Like
I get on there too.
sometimes I just post stuff. I'm like, let me go ahead and trigger some people. Like I did Friday. I posted a big old orange thing and it said, "Vote Orange Man."
Yeah.
Orange Man, Orange Man, good. Oh my! It had over 200 comments because people couldn't. I mean, it was like, I'm sharing this. I think it had like over 100 shares. But sometimes I just post stuff because I know it's gonna trigger people, and it just makes me go. The more hatred I get, the more I'm like, okay, let me find something else to post, and I have a whole bunch of stuff.
Hey,
So,
but you know what? With the Black community, man, it is strong and
girl,
fierce.
you see the post.
I mean, it is fierce, man. The minute you see a Black person leave the plantation, it is bad. The amount of crap. I mean, it is to another level. Like
yeah.
it is insane. Like when we went to DC, I saw someone on my Facebook who I don't even know how I know this person. I ended up unfriending her because I'm like, I don't even know her. How did I even become her friend? Anyway, so I unfriended her, but she posted that. She had screenshots of everything that was sent to us. She had photos, and everyone was commenting and said, oh, those Black people are used like pawns, and just shows that they're selling themselves out, and for a white man. I mean, just nasty. And I was just like, y'all are something else. Like,
somebody said though, they told me, they're like, why they I do not know why these people go on my page, but they did. They found it on my Instagram. But they inboxed one of my followers, and I ended up having to block them. They inboxed one of my followers and said, why do conservatives date white people? And I said, first of all, that's not your business who anybody's dating. Let's just start there. That's not even about politics, right? That's a personal question. It's a personal choice. But I said, think about it. Not conservatives want to probably date a conservative, and 90% of y'all ain't conservative. So you're leaving me with 10%
right.
of the 13% that's already here. And then on top of that, do you think about the married people? You think about the older people. You think about the all. This is all across all 50 states. So this isn't even just in Texas. This is all 50
Yeah.
states. So when you take the numbers, you're only working with only a couple people that you can really talk to that may be in your location, in your area. So that's why Blexit was really big, because it's the most amount of people that you'll ever see that have the same ideology. But they come from everywhere, right? But I just thought that was an interesting question, that they're even noticing who they're dating. Oh, look who they're with. Oh, that speaks a lot when they're with a white person. And it's like, no, I'm gonna get the best person for the job, no matter what race they are. How about that?
You know, Jay, it's funny you say that. Ever since like I've came out as a conservative and got all these conservative friends, you know who's like in my inbox? White conservative men. They're like, oh my God, you're the total package. You're smart, beautiful, and this. I mean, and of course they're like in a whole different state and everything. Yeah. But I noticed that it's like they're just looking for a conservative woman. They don't care if she's black, if she's Hispanic. They're just looking for someone that, just like I had that. I don't know if y'all saw my interview with Timothy. He's like, when he went on the dating app and he had his Trump stuff, they were coming to him saying, you're too cute to be a Trump supporter. And like he said that his likes down and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just, I don't know, this whole, I don't regret it. Sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes
it's hard. It's lonely and hard.
It is. And but you know, it's worth it. If I'm standing on what I believe is righteousness, if I'm standing for life, if I'm standing for biblical principles, then I think it was Paul who said, I count what I lose as dung compared to. So I don't consider it a loss. I'm a good friend, and I don't care what color you are. I look at how nice you are. I look at the content character. So before we go, tell the audience 2 things about yourself.
I'll let you go first. I can't.
Things that are weird are, 1, I do not like shoe shopping. All day. Actually, I went to the store in flip-flops today, and I do not like makeup. I don't buy makeup. I don't wear makeup, and I would rather go buy hair products than makeup. That's 2 things about me.
Okay.
Well, I can say that I'm not a girly girl. I don't really fix myself up. I don't know how to do hair. I'm good with a t-shirt and some shorts. So the other one would be, I'm very opinionated. Like, I'm very opinionated. Like today, there was a lady at the polls. She thought she could come at me. So I went back at it. You're not gonna walk over me. I ain't that kind of girl. No, you ain't gonna just, think you can just roll over. You talk to me a certain way and I'm just gonna fall in line. It ain't gonna happen. So I'm a little opinionated, loud, a little ghetto sometimes, but I was born in the hood and ghetto, so it's hard to rub off.
I think for me, so I'm a little bit more I'm high maintenance, but I'm more of a high maintenance, but I want to be conservative while I'm doing it. So I got my nails done, right? I got my nails in this loud pink, but I'm so cheap. I'm like, I don't need all the extra stuff. Just do the basics, the $7, I tell people that, and they're just like, oh, she looks like she's high maintenance, and I'm like, no, but I'm cheap. So so I think that's the 2 things. I'm high maintenance, cheap. I want to look good on a budget where we're not breaking the bank, and I like to get the most for my money. Okay.
me. Like when I go to the store, I'm like, okay, where's the clearance? Where's the good?
Yeah.
If I gotta pay, like if I pay something for full price, listen, if I pay something full price, I gotta come back to the store 3 times and like look at it. Is it really worth it? But like for my children, okay, how much are those shoes? 150. Okay, whatever. How much is that? Like I will spend whatever on my children, but when it comes to me, I'm like, is that shirt worth it? And
Is it worth $20? I don't think so.
Gosh, that's
yeah,
funny.
my budget used to be $19.99 for a pair of jeans. Like I ain't, yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
still my budget. I I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that's a funny though. See,
Hey,
so conservatives are more financially conservative. They don't want to just keep spending, because then you're eventually going to have nothing. But so it's a mindset. It really is.
it is
Mm-hmm.
to look sexy, classy, and still be frugal. And
Now
still,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. Now that's sexy when you can be frugal with it.
yeah, and wear flip flops.
Yeah. Or they'll be like, where'd you get that from? I'm like, oh, I got this from Ross.
I
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, all right, ladies, it's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Y'all tell us where we can find you at. S, where can we find you at your YouTube channel?
Truth with Ez.
All right. And Jay, where can we find you at?
Everything. Jay Bree, Facebook. Look, I used to have different names like you, but somebody said, look, I can't tell which one is you. So they says keep the same name for everything. I said that's smart. So I got Jay Bree for YouTube, Jay Bree for Facebook, _Jay Bree for Instagram. I just now opened a Twitter. Look, I think I got one
Oh,
follower. So oh Lord.
I'm scared to open Twitter. They said it's like a cesspool of hate, and I got enough hate on Facebook, but I'm
Yeah, yeah.
turned
I
on.
have Twitter, but I don't really use it like that.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all go look at Truth with Ez and Jay's page. Subscribe to their pages. They have even more content over there. And thank you, ladies. Thank y'all for
Thank
watching. And
you.
like, share, subscribe, comment below. What did y'all think of the debates? What did y'all think of Chelsea Handler saying that 50 Cent is not allowed to vote Republican, or else she's going to take his black card and she'll give it to him with a little something something back if he denounces voting for Trump? So comment below, share, subscribe, go visit these ladies' pages, share, subscribe their pages. And God bless y'all and God bless America.
God bless.
God bless. Bye.